ladies. In another episode of Acronyms the World Doesn't Need, we are going to look at the Drip FEUD B-map. You'll be like, I'm like, yeah, sorry, this is what we have to go through. Remember, there are people out there who try and sell books on persuasive communication and negotiation in the political scene, and they're coming up with such ludicrous acronyms like the Drip FEUD B-map. Basically, what we are discussing right now is to really bring about this win-win strategizing that I've been preaching for the last, 5, 6, 7 podcasts? We want to be in a situation in political negotiations, especially international political negotiations, where we are coming out with a smile, where we are compromising, where we're finding consensus in our decisions, and there are certain conditions that you want to create in order to achieve this. I've already alluded to the fact that you should separate the people from the problem, that you should focus on interests and not positions, that you should be inventive and creative in the options that you are brainstorming, that you're putting onto the table in order to make everybody happy. These options must cater for mutual gain. And then you gotta be rational. I know this is a little bit repetitive, therefore I'm not going deeper into these particular ideas. Drip FEUD B-map is what we are doing. Here it is. Crazy. So much. But it's actually not so difficult. So Vandenberg, in his attempt to sell books, came up with the 10 broad but important communication principles of negotiation. Remember, we're gunning for win-win. And Drip FEUD obviously relates to an acronym that gives you the criteria for this win-win. And Drip FEUD spells out the conditions that need to be there. This is all very repetitive. Please just don't overthink the fact that we have discussed this 5 times already. D is dialogical, R is reciprocal, I is intersubjective, P is purposive, F is flexibly rigid, U is unambiguous, E is ethical, and D is democratic. I don't want to go into every single one of them, but I think I should have a little pause looking at intersubjectivity. You cannot look at your negotiating partner in a way that robs them of their individuality, that denies them to have opinions, to have needs. Please recognize that you are a subject with needs and feelings and emotions and goals, and that your opponent, of course, is the same. Negotiations must be purposive. Another criterion that I would like to just dive a little bit deeper into it. Keep that purpose in mind. What is the purpose? The purpose is an agreement. If you're constantly going back to the premise of achieving an agreement on a particular goal, things get easy. Quite a goodie is the flexibly rigid part of the list. Yes, you have certain ideas in mind as you're coming in, which are non-negotiable. But you also do need to understand that concessions need to be made and certain things have to be given up in order to maybe win overall. So stick with your major objectives, your major goals, especially if you believe that they are the ethical way forward. But you need to make sure that the plans that get you to these goals can be discussed. I think all of the other items you can kind of look at yourself. But we have missed out on the B-map. Because Vandenberg says you cannot get a win-win if these negotiations do not happen in a benign environment. Benign means good. Benign means nice. It's not malign, it is benign. So create a situation where everybody feels comfortable, where everybody feels that they have the space to express themselves. The map are the mutually agreed upon procedures. Yes, having guidelines of how to approach what and when can actually help you keep your negotiations on the right tracks and can help you to not mistake the problem for the person and all of these other things that we have discussed. Procedures are good. Procedures set a routine. Procedures set a standard. Procedures guide you, and they make sure that certain things are being recognized that you might actually miss throughout the negotiations. The drip feud BMAP, I hate it so much, I'm actually starting to like it. So you want to have certain preconditions that help you with your win-win. These preconditions need to be embedded in a benign environment according to mutually agreed upon procedures. I don't think you will ever forget the drip feud BMAP again.